Hi, I'm Marnie Pearson-Coons, and my guest today is Dr. Linda Miles. Dr. Miles has worked in the field of mental health for over 30 years as a psychotherapist, consultant, educator, and writer. She's appeared on national television, radio, and in magazines such as Women's World, Parents, and Entrepreneur. She wrote the award-winning book, The New Marriage, Transcending the Happily Ever After Myth with her husband, Dr. Robert Miles, and she's recently published Friendship on Fire, and I'm really enjoying Change Your Story, Change Your Brain, okay, which is all about mindfulness, and I've known Dr. Miles for a lot of years and have really appreciated her wisdom over that time. And so there's a subject today that's kind of been on my mind a lot lately because I've noticed a lot of people using the label narcissist, you know, from everybody from our president to, you know, your sister's ex-husband or whatever. And it just seems to me it gets thrown around a lot. So I wanted to get a professional take on this term, on whether there's really that many narcissists in the world, or whether, and also, is it, you know, is it okay for all of us to just be amateurs throwing this label around? So Dr. Miles, thanks for letting me talk to you about this subject today.
Sure. Let me just make something clear. All of us have traits of certain things. So when you go to grad school and you're studying psychology, a lot of times you feel like you have everything on the list because we all have some traits. It's not that you have one trait of narcissism, like maybe you like attention. Well, that can be very normal. The fact of the matter is, Marnie, only about 1% of the population has a purely narcissistic personality disorder. That's not a lot of people. But let me add to that it can co-vary with other problems like substance abuse. Depressed people get really preoccupied with themselves. So it can co-vary with other kinds of things, but it's used way too much considering the fact it's not all that common, and people are not careful how they're using it. They're referring to a narcissistic trait and calling it a disorder. Did I make that clear?
Right. Yeah. So what would be some narcissistic traits that a normal person might have that doesn't necessarily mean that they're a narcissist?
Yeah, Marnie, let me just kind of contrast, maybe if I could, narcissistic personality disorder with normal. So, for example, you and I, obviously we like attention because we are, right? Okay.
Yeah, right.
Narcissistic people are preoccupied with attention. If they're in a room, they want to be the center of attention. And healthy narcissism is like, I know you've got a bunch of children, you're a very caring person. So you're not going to walk in a room and always need everyone to look at you. A narcissistic person is preoccupied with their image. Narcissism is based on the myth of Narcissus. And Narcissus fell in love with his image in the pool. Now, what that tells us is they can't see anything else. So if you put a truly narcissistic personality in a room, they don't feel compassion for other people. They don't notice if someone just choked necessarily, unless they want the attention for saving them. They want to feel inordinately special. And again, Marnie, you and I want to feel special. I like somebody to bring me flowers, or even if my grandson does a little picture for me, I feel special. Okay, that doesn't mean I'm narcissistic because I want to feel special. So feeling special, preoccupied with being the center of attention, preoccupied with self. Another thing that I would contrast is narcissistic people are very good at getting their needs met through other people. They do it by manipulating. They do it by being charming, whatever. And again, we all do that some. If we didn't, we'd be pretty boring people. But Narcissistic people cannot put themselves in someone else's shoes and think, if I ask this person at 2 a.m. to go get me some Coke, they're going to be in danger in a dangerous neighborhood. They don't think that way because they can't put themselves in your position. So they may put you, another person, in a dangerous position. Probably the best rendition I've seen of narcissism was Michael Douglas in Wall Street. And Michael Douglas did it. He said, greed is good. He didn't care what happened to anyone else as long as he was making money and able to buy these special portraits and have a trophy wife. If people want to understand a true narcissist, watch Michael Douglas. He did a great job.
Yeah, interesting. That's cool. I don't think I've seen that one. I'll have to watch that.
Yeah. That's more really accurate what a pure narcissist is like. And again, Marnie, just to summarize, he needed to be totally special. He needed to be the center of the room. He needed to have the best. Oh, and another thing is they're very jealous over what anyone else has. And they think that other people are jealous of them because they're that way. So Michael Douglas, protected everything he had, whatever. And it's a story about how someone actually got into his slipstream, which was not easy to do. But they feel like they're special. They deserve special treatment. They're above what any human being might expect because they want special treatment. And by the way, Marnie, there may be a genetic tendency towards this. We don't really know what causes it, but people maybe are born predisposed to needing inordinate attention. So we don't know.
Interesting. Is there anybody who's been cured of it, or is it?
Well, yeah, cured. Practices like in my book, Change Your Story, Change Your Brain, that help people learn compassion and take a look at themselves. Those kind of practices can help. But honestly, narcissists generally don't go to therapy. Why would you think they wouldn't go to therapy? Given what I said.
They wouldn't think there was anything wrong with them, I wouldn't think.
Right. They're special. And if they do come, it's usually because someone brought them and they want to show me that they're smarter than I am and more capable and how great they are. And they're not receptive to feedback. It's like Teflon. And that's the problem. If someone is with a true narcissist, feedback or telling them how they are is just like Teflon, like right off them because it doesn't penetrate. They're not unable to look at themselves.
So they don't like self-reflect and say, I see that I've done this and I'm sorry I should have done it this way.
No, because they always have a million reasons why they did it. And anyway, they're entitled to do it because they're so special. Now, again, Marnie, let me just throw out the caveat. We all do that sometimes. I mean, there have certainly been less than desirable traits that I have not wanted to look at and that have been hard for me to look at. So again, it gets overused when somebody has trouble like, no, I can't be that way. Are you kidding me? I would never be that. Well, we all are schlepping through. And so we all make mistakes. But the difference between someone with a narcissistic personality and someone who's had a narcissistic trait is eventually they'll start looking at it. If they get enough feedback and enough people tell them, they're finally like, ooh, maybe this is true.
Right. Probably it's human nature to defend yourself normally if somebody's coming at you with something. Yeah.
And it's a difference between normal defenses, which we all have, and a narcissistic personality, which is total Teflon.